Well, okay. Hey guys! So Mike's week for this week's show. He's
that was awesome.
Mike was smart enough to reach out to some of the cast members. So I'll let Mike introduce our special guest for tonight. Mike.
So, as Liz mentioned as we were talking to this guest, not only has he been in Little Mermaid on Broadway, he's also been in Sister Act. But in this show, we know him as the lovable and manic Chef Louie, John Tracy Egan, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Right.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to appear on our little show.
Oh, I think it's really exciting to talk about it. It's a lot of fun. That was to 2007, so that was a long time ago. I did Little Mermaid.
How long ago was it? I'm like doing math real quick.
I don't think Tyler was born.
Oh yeah,
I was. I was born in 2004.
Oh god.
Okay.
So three.
I know I look like I'm like 12.
Hey, dude, I turned 29 this year. I do not look 29.
No, you
So
I turned 24 this year, and I do not look 24.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be 25 in January. So,
Dang.
yeah, I know. But okay, anyway, enough about our ages. So, we're gonna put Michelle and Tyler back into the green room real quick, and we're gonna quickly ask technical questions, I guess, so to speak, to our lovely guests, and then we'll bring Tyler and Michelle, bring you guys each one at a time to ask your questions. All right? Okay.
See you later.
I just cut him off.
Bye, Tyler.
Okay, let's back up. There we go.
All right. Okay. So, Mike, I was about to call you Kyle. I don't know why. Want to kick us off with your first question?
Okay. So yeah, I originally sent these questions to Eddie, who unfortunately I don't think is going to be able to join us tonight. He's helping his daughter get situated at college, but I guess I can just adapt them to you and your character. So, what was the rehearsal and learning process like for your dance routine in Lake Wasana?
It was interesting. It was kind of up to me, which was a big surprise. Our director's name was Francesca Zambello, and so they gave me a room and a big table with all kinds of props on it, and they came in the room and they said, "Okay, what have you got?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you're kind of letting me just do my own thing." And they're like, "Absolutely." And I said, "Okay, go away. I'll see you in a half an hour." So I worked out some business with some of the props. And the coolest thing about the prop that I had was the big hatchet that I had, you know, the chopping thing.
Yeah, the meat, it's called meat.
I kind of had a crazy, I did. I had this crazy joke where I would go la 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 la, sing the wrong note, and then I'd hit it on a table and listen for the right note. La, right? It happened to be the perfect pitch. It was a mistake, a total mistake. But so I was like la 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 la, la, and it made a like shing. So it was almost like. It was so random, but it was in the exact key that it was supposed to be, and that was just a complete fluke. And it ended up being kind of funny. And then I kind of, we kind of created a lot of props together. The prop man and I. Actually, I have a couple of prototypes of my fish here, as a matter of fact. I can grab them when you're having conversation. I'll grab them. There's one over here. But originally the fish were smaller. Then they they wanted to do different tricks, and one of them I pull out the skin, and the other one I pulled out this great satin ribbon that was white satin ribbon that was tied in knots, which he colored in with a magic marker, and it actually looked better. They kept trying different kinds of ribbons when I pull the guts out of the fish, but somehow this woven satin ribbon was the perfect weight and consistency, and even with coloring it in, like we tried velvet, we tried all different ones. It was so perfect to pull out, and when I would throw it, it would fly through the air and land in the pot perfectly. It was like aerodynamically the perfect prop. So it was really fun kind of making all the different props. And when I would, have the fish in the pan and throw it up and then catch it in the pan, but because the fish was foam rubber, it would bounce. So instead I said, you need to put sand or I think what they put in was I think they put sand in it and fabric on top of it. So when the fish hit, it would just be dead because it wouldn't bounce out of the sand. So I have to say, like, that process was really kind of fun, and I got to invent a lot of the props with the prop master, and they kind of let me go with all the crazy antics. I just tried to make them match. I did have one request. The great Howard Ashman in the movie, he says, it's going to be hot in my big silver pot in the movie. And because all of our props were painted like copper colored, I said, is it okay if I say copper? It's going to be hot in my big copper pot. And they said, we have to check. So we'll get back to you in a few days if we can change one word, because, it was his lyric. And then they went through the estate and they said, absolutely change the word to copper because it looks great. Because everything, I don't know if you noticed if you watch the set, everything is kind of orange to red above land and blue to green underwater.
I did notice that, actually. I did notice that color scheme.
Yeah.
So even
I noticed.
Yeah, Chef Louis had a lot of red and a lot of orange and stuff on him. And then the mer people were all green and blue and purple and stuff like that.
So that was my dog.
Okay. So that's sort of a long answer, but the process was, I was a sailor in Fathoms Below, and then I was a singer off stage, but I really didn't do much else in the show except be Chef Louis, because once you're in that costume, you're in that costume. So there's nothing.
Yeah. Oh. Speaking of the costume, how long did it take you to get in and out of it?
Oh my gosh, that is a really good question, because our costume designers were these Russian designers.
Oh, I'm Russian. Sorry.
Russian designer.
Yeah.
And normally in a Broadway show, what they'll do is you have your stockings, then you have the garters, then you have the undergarment, then you have the pantaloons, and then you have the coat and all. You put them on you, but then once they fit them, they sew them all together and cut them down the back so that you step into it and go zip, and then you're done.
Yeah.
They did not want that to happen to this costume. So I had to get into the stockings and then the garters and then each piece. So if my joke was, if I caught fire, I would never get out of the costume. Because it was a lot of pieces. It was a lot of buttons and zippers and ties and stuff. So once I was in it, I thought, like, oh, if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to be in trouble. I couldn't do it. There was no way. Especially because the dressers were all busy dressing other people throughout the show. So I would just sort of sit in my little area and pray and not drink any water.
Because from what I heard is that a lot of the ensemble who were fish and sea creatures were also a lot of the ensemble that were on land. Your fellow chefs and the sailors. Right.
Well, I think I was mentioning to you guys before when we first talked that, the sailors were also mermen, and then they got rid of the mermen. So the men were soldiers, and they were fish and under the sea, and they were birds and Kiss the Girl, and the women were fish and birds, as well as being the Mer sisters. So, so everybody did everything, and I was a backstage singer for Kiss the Girl and Under the Sea.
Ooh la la.
That is so cool.
I said, you can't put me in a turtle costume. Let me be that turtle that does that funny little dance.
Well,
I can see you doing that
I
too.
could so see him doing that.
I said, put me in a turtle costume. Come on, he's in the movie.
And because that's funny. That's a funny thing. So one of my favorite rides in Magic Kingdom, sorry to go off track, is the Little Mermaid ride, because Ariel's my favorite princess, personally.
You love that ride, man. You obsessed with
And I love the animatronics in the ride, but I love that they have that little turtle.
Do they have the turtle?
His dance.
I want to take one of those little turtles home, but I can't because Disney would probably sue me. I'd probably do it.
With Liz's song's choice, I am amazed by that Ursula animatronic. It is.
Oh yeah.
But fun fact, that's the Ursula one is the at Walt Disney World, it is the second or third most expensive animatronic, because the first one's the Navi on the Navi River Journey. And that's the most expensive animatronic they've ever had. Then I think it's Ursula. Then Ursula, and then it's somebody else.
The Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti.
Expedition Everest, which they still can't fix.
I know every time I've gone, it's not working, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. And they can't fix it because they'd have to take the whole ride apart to get to it.
And they don't want to take it down because it's so iconic, you know?
Yeah.
I saw a video of the Little Mermaid ride at Disneyland, and Ursula's head had popped off while the ride was going. So,
that was at Disneyland, right? Not Disney World?
That was at Disneyland, yeah.
Okay.
But I love that Ursula. I don't know why I love Ursula so much, but that her part of that ride is my favorite one.
Like 8 feet long or something.
I mean, I said she's a great villain. It's a really hard to
I love that.
top Ursula.
Cat World did such a good job bringing Ursula to life the way she did.
I gotta say, as far as Ursulas go, one of my favorites is the one in Hollywood Studios. For the Little Mermaid stage show, the puppet show they have. That giant Ursula puppet, the tentacles move independently. I think there's a guy in there, I'm fairly certain.
I'm sure.
But
Yeah, because the hands move independently.
the hands move, the tentacles move. It's, when she does that no talking, singing zip, you can hear the pop of the lips. And I love that.
Tyler said they are actually refixing it. I don't know which one he's talking about, but
he's talking about the Matterhorn, the Yeti.
I think he's talking about the Yeti.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matterhorn was in Norway. Matterhorn was the one in Norway that Frozen replaced. That many people.
The Matterhorn is in California.
That's the Maelstrom.
Oh,
Maelstrom was in Norway.
Okay. Anyway, back to
Matterhorn has a basketball court up top.
He's saying
I've never been to
it's
Disneyland.
still Everest, but I think growing up it was always called the Matterhorn unless they've changed it.
I've been to Disneyland out in California, and I've ridden the Matterhorn, and I gotta say that is such a cute ride.
I love the Disney.
They didn't mean for it to be cute, but it's cute.
And that's where the Yeti is, right? And the Matterhorn.
That's where they have a Yeti, and then there's Expedition Everest, which is the Animal Kingdom. And that's our Yeti. We call it the Disco Yeti because they have flashing lights all over it.
And so is that the one that's the most expensive one that you were saying?
No, the Navi on the Navi River Journey, the shaman. When that's the most expensive one they have ever made, and it's every penny. It is beautiful. I just love it. It's just so lifelike. But they cherish that animatronic so much because it's a lot of money.
Right.
But and then after her, it's the Ursula, and then it's the Yeti. Because they
couldn't have gotten anywhere without the birds.
What?
They couldn't have gotten anywhere without the Tiki Room birds.
Oh yeah, the Tiki Room birds.
And the Country Bears Jamboree.
I love the Country Bears.
I love Big Owl. Okay, anyway, so we gotta get back on track to Little Mermaid. Mike, your turn.
Getting back to Ursula though. The costume in the show, in addition to Chef Louis, that costume is just
which one?
So amazing. I love the Flotsam and Jetsam costumes too.
Yeah, they were neat. They went through a lot of transformations. The heads and the painting. I think they changed that quite a bit because the lighting up was always a thing. But that went through transformations. I think the Seagulls went from Denver to Broadway went through a transformation as well. But I think everybody else pretty much stayed the same. I know for a long time in the beginning of rehearsal, there was talk of they actually made a mechanical Ariel tail that she was going to wear and that someone was going to have to puppeteer it off stage. And it weighed so much. And Sierra was so good with that one tail, she could really work it so well that they just went, you know what, and keep the one she has, because the one she had was so beautiful, and it was weird. It kind of did like the mechanical one, and it was a lot of money, and so they actually did better by making her by having her keep the one that was flexible. And I think what I was explaining to you guys too, that all the costumes have the design of like one of those paper lanterns that open up and folds into like
Chinese lanterns.
Yeah, like those paper things that
Yeah.
that open up into a circle. So if you look at any pictures of the costumes, Ariel's tail has that. Ursula's costume has that. My costume has that. They all want them to look as if they were, I don't know, that they sort of woven in paper as opposed to, you know, solid.
As like fabric and stuff.
Right, right. I love the bird's big long baseball cap.
Yeah.
That's a great.
God, I wish Eddie could have joined us. I have so many questions about how fun it was to goof around in that costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Oh gosh, I was about to say Smee. Not Smee. Oh no.
Yeah, he's kind of like a
Long musical.
I'm blanking.
Oh, what the name?
Okay. Oh my gosh, that took way too long. Scott.
No. It's a lot of characters in that world.
Oh my gosh, I should know that. Mike, it's your turn. Go.
Okay, hang on. Let me pull up the questions again.
He forgot to write them down.
That's okay.
Why?
I'm trying to see. I think I can reach them.
Is that a Star Wars figurine in your stuff?
Oh yeah.
Star Wars figurine, and there's tons of Star Wars in it.
No, I noticed
It's
a little
called
white
Star Wars.
stormtrooper. I saw the white armor. I was like, is that a stormtrooper?
I have my little stormtrooper on my desk.
Oh,
My BB-8 speaker.
I have the
I
Appanese.
actually have my resistance flag behind me, but it's taking down
Right.
at the moment.
Oh,
yeah. So
I have a ton.
yeah. Speaking of Eddie and like goofing and having fun on stage, were there any like bloopers that happened on or off stage?
We like to call them mishaps.
Sure.
Or mishaps?
A lot, you know, because of the Heelys, sometimes people would fall.
Ooh.
The Heely wheels would pop out sometimes.
I remember that because you could pop them out and then just walk on them.
Right. So the stage manager on both sides had extra wheels. And so if your wheel popped off, you would run the wings and pop one back in and hit the road. I know there was a moment of, there was moments of like, unfortunately our set had a lot of technical problems, mostly because it was designed again by a designer who had the two spinning tower things. They were made by different companies, each one. So if one broke, you had to have both companies come. So if it was one company that made them, then you would have had one mechanic. But because it was two different companies and it was the same design, they didn't talk to each other very well. So if they would break down, they had to have somebody come in. They had to have the two companies come and work on them. And oftentimes they would be down for like a couple of days.
Oh, wow.
Because they had these, you know, they would open up like umbrellas and spin around and stuff. And that was something that would happen. And I'm trying to think, I mean, a couple of times Ursula, you know, technical things, she would be taken off before she died. She's like, bye. You know, they're like, we didn't kill you yet. Sorry, that's what the cue was from.
No,
Go die in the wings.
Yeah, die in the wings. She went off because in Denver she was in this pod, so the pod went off, right?
Mhm.
On Broadway, she went through the floor like, you know, she dissolved like
Elphaba.
Like Alphaba does.
Straight to the West, yeah, exactly. She would go through the floor. I think that's kind of really the only stuff. I mean, you know.
Were there any mishaps? I remember you saying before you got into the Chef Louis costume, you were one of the sailors on the ship. Were there any mishaps with the ship facade?
Well, listen, I mean, there are some sad stories to the Broadway Little Mermaid. Unfortunately, there were a lot of injuries because of the way that things were built and the way things were constructed. So people did get injured a couple times by different pieces of scenery, and one of the actors had a terrible fall that pretty much ended his career. So unfortunately, The Little Mermaid was plagued with bad luck on Broadway. It's a beautiful musical. It's probably my favorite CD that I've ever been on, and I think I listened to it, you know, a lot. But I think it wasn't a huge success for Disney on Broadway. I think mostly because at the time the success of The Lion King was so different. It wasn't done like a typical Broadway musical. So a director was hired who typically did opera, and designers who did opera as opposed to musical theater. So it wasn't their hot genre. It just wasn't as successful as Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King. But since then, it has been retooled for schools and for different productions. And the Paper Mill Playhouse did a wonderful production of The Little Mermaid. And Liz McCartney, a friend of mine, played Ursula, and she probably should have played Ursula from the beginning. She was amazing. So Google it. I mean, Google Liz McCartney and The Little Mermaid.
I will find it.
And you're going to be like, well, that's who Ursula should have been. She was unbelievable. But again,
real quick though, I have to tip my hat to Heidi Blickenstaff, who was the original Carlotta, I think, in the show.
Yeah.
She later took over for Sherry.
Yeah.
As Ursula, and seeing her sing "Poor Unfortunate Souls" at Epcot, specifically, there's this one moment. I think it was when it was the Four Top show, when it was her, Gavin Lee, Alton Fitzgerald White, and Kissy Simmons, where
Harry's just like shaking his head.
sang "Pathetic, Poor Unfortunate Souls," and the way she like curled her eyebrows down and looked right into my camera, it gave me chills. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot of it, John, and send it to you.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. She's amazing. Heidi's great, and Heidi has a fantastic voice. And there were
she was great to talk to too. She was such a light.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I mean, there were other. Cecily Daniels was a great Ursula, and Faith Prince, and also I've seen my friend Meredith Inglesby, who is. She's very, very trim, and I just saw a regional production where she played it, and she was so good. She was very different than any Ursula you've ever seen, and she really, really nailed it. It was very good, very funny.
And you actually showed us a photo of you as Ursula.
Yeah, that's right.
I was waiting for that. I was like, you had mentioned the Ursula costume, and also, can we give like a big like applause for the fact that you got to play Ursula, which is like a big deal.
Oh yeah,
because getting one thing to like a woman play a male character, but have a man play a woman character and actually kill it is amazing.
Well, there was a moment actually on Broadway when Heidi left the show, and they needed another understudy to be Ursula, and so they brought me in for an audition, and then they realized they thought, we don't really want to go down that road of having a man play Ursula. We don't want to do it. Plus, they would have to build me an entirely new costume, because I'm bigger than all of those girls. And it would have been very, very expensive for somebody who might have gone on maybe a few times, in that part. So I did it in a regional theater, and it was a lot of fun to be able to do it.
It's always fun to play the villains. It's just, it always is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially like Ursula and them.
Yeah.
Is there a Snow White Broadway? Oh my God.
No. Not yet.
Make a Snow White Broadway show.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They should have to do an Atlantis Broadway or a Treasure Planet Broadway, but they won't touch those.
I think they're working on I know that at one point there was the Jungle Book's been being tossed around for a while.
I think Hercules is the next one.
And Pinocchio. Which one?
Hercules. I think they casted Hercules.
And they just did Hercules at the Public, which was great. And then I
also did
on the Princess Bride. They've been working on the Princess Bride for a long time, even though that's not really Disney. They've been working.
I was going to say,
I could see Disney putting their spin on the Princess Bride, though. It's
No.
like the generic.
I don't want them touching Wesley or Buttercup or any of them. That movie is sacred to me and my father.
I mean, as long as they don't change massive things about it, if they keep the main themes, everything should be okay.
Anyway,
I don't want them to touch Anastasia, though.
They've only made Anastasia, though.
Yeah. Oh, Anastasia's a musical.
Yeah, they only made
And it's different because there's no bar talk and there's no.
Yeah, Christy, something.
You can't have an Anastasia without Bartok.
No, Christy. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Christy, and so her last name starts with an A. She plays Anastasia.
Yes, you're right.
I can't remember. I cannot remember her last name for the life of me. Oh my god, you dogs are killing me right now. My dogs wanted to come say hi. So
That's cute.
Stella and Stanley looks dead. Stanley, come say hi. Say hi.
Stanley's very shy. Stanley's like Tyler's brother, very shy.
Yeah, he has a little Marvel collar because it fits his name perfectly. Rest in peace, Stanley. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your next question?
I closed my book by accident because I had to pick them up. Okay. That is my list. Wait. I have too many of these books. I'm sorry. Like now, look, I'm not the one who's prepared. Okay. What was like the audition process like for like the actual going about audition for the Little Mermaid?
Well, it was pretty typical. You know, they had worked on Little Mermaid for years, so there had been a couple of workshops, and there had been different people attached to it. So when they started all over again, they kind of went through the people who had been attached to it from the beginning and different things. So you have an audition, you have a callback, which is Michael Cosrin, who is the musical director for most of Alan Menken's pieces, is a fantastic guy, super talented musician. You know, you audition for him, and then eventually you find yourself in front of Alan Menken and Tom Schumacher at Disney, and that's when the decisions are made. So it was there was nothing weird about it. It was very very specifically, typically audition world for me. It may have been harder for the Ariels and the Erics and the. I mean, I know Sherry Renee Scott was cast way before we started because she was promised the role. I know, and I know she was cast, kind of born into the role cast. But I'm not really sure about everybody else. But I know mine was just pretty typical.
I auditioned for Anna Dare. I auditioned for Anna at Disney World, and I am never doing that again because it is petrifying.
It's
it is.
Well, you gotta get used to it. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like it's like practicing. You just do it and you get better.
The more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. Mike, you have any more questions before we bring one?
Just a quick question though before next one. What was it like walking in that audition room and seeing Alan Menken sitting there?
Okay,
was there ever like an oh my gosh moment? That's Alan Menken.
Yeah, it was amazing. Well, I'll tell you, the first time I saw Alan Menken, I was younger and I went to a concert, and it was after Little Mermaid had already been in the movies, but Beauty and the Beast had not, and Aladdin had not. So I was at a concert, and he sang "Friend Like Me," and he sang "Under the Sea." So I heard them before they were seen.
Okay.
Then years later, I was in a concert where people were singing Alan Menken music, and I sang "Go the Distance." And afterwards, I met him, and he was very complimentary and very nice. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm meeting Alan Menken. It's amazing. And then years later, I auditioned for Little Mermaid, and he remembered me from singing "Go the Distance." And then the nice thing was when I auditioned for Sister Act, we auditioned for Whoopi Goldberg and Jerry Zaks, the director, and Michael Cosrin, Alan Menken's music director. And I was already sort of like an already in. So I almost didn't even have to see Alan Menken because he had already known me and because I'd gotten the approval of those three. And then I auditioned for Alan, and he couldn't be nicer. And he, to this day, Alan is such a nice man. I have to take a fun story. I almost wrote a song with him because Jonathan Freeman is a very good friend of mine, and he did a show for Disney Cruises. And we were doing a show. It was called Jafar So Far, or we were calling it, there was another name. We called it Jafar So Far. But it was sort of his whole journey on Jafar. And I said, you need an opening number, something like, it's nice to play a villain because villains don't play nice. Mm-hmm. And I gave that title to him, and he loved it. And he told it to Alan, and Alan said, that's great. Just, tell John Tracy to call me, and we should write a song together. Well, he happened to be on a phone call with his writer, Chad Beglin, and Chad Beglin loved the title. And I think he wrote the lyrics in probably 10 minutes. So he wrote, and he sent it to him, and he wrote it and sent it to Jonathan. And Jonathan said, I'm so sorry I didn't mean to sort of give away your secret so that somebody else wrote the song. And he said, no. I was like, that's fine. But then Alan sent the song to me and said, do you like it? Do you think it needs more? I was like, what?
Like Alan Menken's asking my advice?
29
Rest in peace, me, I can die.
29 awards, and then he sends it to Jonathan, and then I said, I actually think it could use another verse, and so they whipped up another verse. And I said, do I get writing credit? And they're like, no. You came up with the title, but you didn't get writing credit.
What? Did this actually become a thing? Like, did this show become a legit show? Because I want to see it.
Oh, absolutely. And the song is hilarious. It's nice to play villain. It's, there's a really funny lyric in it that Chad Beglin wrote, something about like, I considered fairy godmother, but I don't work with mice. It's nice to play a villain because villains don't play nice. That's a funny lyric. I mean, I considered fairy godmother, but I will not work with mice. It's nice to play a villain because villains don't play nice. I think that's a genius lyric.
I will find it. It's gonna exist somewhere.
You won't find it. No, you won't find it.
No.
There may be a YouTube of Jonathan singing it, but you won't find it because it's Jonathan's song and Alan's song, and until somebody else records it and releases it, it's sort of a secret. So,
Okay.
what I mean? I think I can say that. I mean, it's all copywritten and everything, so it's not like anyone's gonna steal it. But I might have a copy. We'll see.
Okay, so this is sort of off track. I know a guy who might be able to perform it.
I'm sure you do.
I mean, I don't know him personally,
Okay.
but if y'all could reach out, like,
I'm going to perform it before your friend does. Don't.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so John.
Someone can perform it. I have like.
Stephanie follows Team Star Kid, who is this small theater troupe based out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And who was the actor who played
Darren Criss?
What's it?
I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he played in their version of Aladdin. It was Jafar's journey and how Jafar sort of became Jafar.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Aladdin meets Wicked. The title of the musical.
Dylan Saunders is the guy who played Jafar.
Well, I think at some point we're going to get some kind of movie or story about the early days of Jafar. I mean,
we already got a movie about
so it's kind of a alternative telling / parody of the story of Aladdin.
Right.
It's like Aladdin meets Wicked. The title was Twisted, the untold story of a royal vizier.
Nice.
It's very funny.
Nice.
But Dylan Saunders did a fantastic Jafar, and he actually looks the part.
Oh, sure.
I'm pretty sure if you could find a young photo of Jonathan Freeman and put it next to Dylan Saunders, I'm pretty sure they look very similar.
Yeah. Did you guys have you guys seen Aladdin on stage yet?
No.
No, although I did get to see Adam Jacobs coincidentally also at Epcot.
Right.
Because I may or may not have like a copy. Because I have so many bootleg copies of Broadway shows. It's really
I think Aladdin on stage is perfect. It's just fantastic. It's one of my favorites.
I've seen the one at Disneyland. Does that count?
No.
Well, I hear it's really good. I heard that one's really good.
It was. For the time that it ran, it was really good.
Because Frozen took over. Thanks, Liz.
Hey, whoa! Don't be coming after my girl now, all right? Leave Elsa and Anna out of this. But I only have one.
I have not seen Aladdin in its entirety, but I did get to see Adam Jacobs at Epcot sing "Proud of Your Boy," and that was such an oh my gosh moment.
Yeah,
because
beautiful moment.
Because I remember following him on Snapchat when he was actually in the show.
Yeah.
So I would get to see him posting like his backstage fun with like Courtney and James, and it was just so amazing seeing him in that Prince Ali costume.
Yeah,
was just amazing, and I wish I could have seen it.
It's still. I mean, it still tours. I mean, it's probably could come to Florida if it hasn't been there yet. It's coming.
If COVID ever ends.
Oh, there are so many musicals I want to see. I want to see Aladdin. I want to see Lion King.
I've seen The Lion King.
It's a great
I
show.
definitely want to see Phantom.
Yeah.
Because and not only have I seen Sierra perform in Little Mermaid. I own the 25th anniversary special of Phantom from the Royal Albert Hall in London.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, she has to be one of the best, if not the best, Christine Daye.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie. I only saw the movie. I didn't like Phantom. It put me to sleep. I'm not even gonna lie.
Sierra's great. Did you have another question before we bring the other guys in?
Yeah. So, because I was trying to tell Mike, we need to like get back on track, even though as much as he loves talking about Phantom. My last question is kind of more like away from what Mike knows nothing about. Obviously you joined the union. Do you have any like how the whole equity and union thing work? Did you do any shows before you actually?
Oh, sure. I mean, I grew up doing theater, and I did a lot of community theater and children's theater, and then regional theater, and then eventually I got in a production of Big River at a theater, a regional theater, and I got my equity card there, and then started working in union productions. So it's a process like everything. It's you audition and you do as much theater as you can. I would say, like, if you're an actor, if you're a performer, you should do as much as you can. Work leads to work. So you meet people who are, in the business, and they help you find work because they're looking for it too,
But with especially with everything happening now, theater is hard to come by now.
It is, yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get back there soon.
Yep. Hopefully. So, Mike, do you have any questions before? I think I'll bring Tyler in first because he looks like he's about to fall asleep. Oh God.
Nah. I don't have any more questions.
I'm sorry, my dad just came in and he just.
Hi, Dad.
Yes, I did get my TV up here. It's very light. Sorry about that. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and bring Tyler in.
Hi again.
Hey, Tyler.
Hi. Really quick with the whole Aladdin thing. I saw it on Broadway with the original cast.
Wasn't it great?
It was amazing.
And then, talk about like Anna's transformation in costume. How about when Jafar goes from like, all those costumes? He's, it's pretty crazy, those costume changes.
Yeah. Yeah, James Monroe Iglehart was so good.
Amazing. Standing ovation.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then you went on to do Hamilton too.
Yeah, so good.
I forgot about that. I was like, wait, he did Hamilton.
He's in it.
Right? Who?
James Monroe Iglehart.
Who's he in Hamilton?
Jefferson.
Oh,
he's David Diggs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, he would have been Lafayette. He would have been Lafayette in Act 1, and then he becomes Jefferson in Act 2.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. He was not Hooky Doo's Mulligan, the other one who died in Act 1. Both of them were in Law and Order, and I was like, oh my God. Anyway,
everybody in New York's been in Law and Order.
I want to be on that show so bad. Like, I don't care if I'm a dead body or whatever. I just want to be on the show so I can meet Mariska Hargitay.
And then also
for that one.
Kind of what you guys really quick before I ask my question. When we were talking about the Broadway shows from Disney, I think they announced that they're doing a revival of Beauty and the Beast. Aren't they?
I've heard that, Tyler. I don't know when it's slated for, but especially because Frozen closed, so they could bring back Beauty and the Beast.
Okay. Yeah, because I know when I was listening to Sirius XM, they were talking about it.
That's right.
But yeah.
Yeah, with Christine and Seth. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark.
Real quick though, if they do bring back Beauty and the Beast, I have a nomination for Cogsworth.
I'm too tall.
You're too tall.
No, I have a funny story. They've asked me to audition for it, but they first ask you how tall you are, and they don't want. I'm over 6 feet, so they don't want some on Cogsworth over 6 feet.
Yeah, they're very.
In the air to be taller than Cogsworth because Cogsworth is a clock.
Well, I was just about to say, how tall are you? Have a French accent, and so does Lumiere. So.
No, they don't have a French accent.
Tyler, how tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
Perfect. You could be Cogsworth.
There you go. You can be Lumiere.
Tyler's Cogsworth. We got it.
Yep. All right. Disney, reach out to him.
So my question is, what was the most like technological like scene in the show?
That's a good question. You know, I'm going to answer it by saying that because they wanted the set to look like sea glass, so it was reflective and it was clear. The most technical part, and if you ever see videos of it or whatever, and I can't even say that Denver is a good. You want to see the Broadway version. Natasha Katz, who lit Little Mermaid, really had to do like twice as much work as any other show because she had to angle the lights and do so much manipulating of the lights to actually give all of that clear material color, and it wasn't easy. I mean, it was absolutely the most stunning lighting, and just bright and just gorgeous. And I would say technically that was something that took the longest. We opened Little Mermaid on Broadway and she was still lighting afterwards because it was so much to do. And it was all those waves that kind of came up and down, and they were, it was sort of like Venetian blinds, and it was very hard to light and give all the different, to make it look like sea glass and to make it look wet. So that's probably the biggest thing. The second would be, the turnstiles were just giant things. And my personal feeling, we were kind of held hostage by them a little bit. We were in a situation where the sets, if they broke, they broke. So I think if maybe they had a chance, maybe they would have thought about rebuilding the set from Denver to Broadway, but I think it was just too expensive to replace it.
So another question is, are there any differences from the show that you guys like before, like the pre-Broadway show versus the Broadway show that opened, the one that opened on Broadway?
I think the biggest one was, I think from Denver, I think they re-choreographed Under the Sea. And then the big thing was the demise of Ursula. Ursula went, she dissolved through the floor instead of she would go off in her pod because they didn't know how to get rid of her in Denver.
And also, you can't really impale somebody on stage like they do in the movie.
Yeah, and I mean there was a lot of plans to do different things to Ursula, and I think it just took a while to figure out exactly what it was, and
trying to figure out who's going to die and how they're going to die.
And that was it, and and probably the finale, because again, you have two worlds: you have the sea and you have the land, and you have to combine them. So it's tricky. And if you see the stage show, you go from the sea to the land to the land to the sea to the sea to the land, a lot. Toward the end, especially with Ursula. So that probably took a long time.
Okay, then my last question. Sorry, I actually have two more.
That's okay.
Was it always like their idea to use Heelys in the show, or was that like a last minute kind of like idea?
That was the director, Francesca Zambello. She saw somebody in the airport, a kid with those shoes, and she thought that would be kind of fun. It looks like they're kind of floating. And it's funny, we got a lot of pushback. A lot of people made fun of Little Mermaid before it came to Broadway because of the whole Heelys thing. And they thought, it's not going to work unless they have Heelys. And then once people saw the Heelys, they were like, you know what? That looks pretty good. That's not the problem with the show. There's other problems with the show. It's not that, so it was her idea. She saw it, and it ended up working out pretty well.
Yeah.
And then there was a big sale on Heelys the next day.
Then there was what? Big sale.
And then there was a push for Heelys the next day. Everyone had to have.
There were so many things. Like one of the boys, the boy who played Flounder. He said you should have a hairbrush that looks like a fork. To sell at the gift shop.
I would buy it.
They designed a hairbrush that looks like a fork.
It's called a single hopper. It is not a fork.
Right, but have you ever seen? And they made a Barbie that had the little Heelys on, just like that they sold.
Yes, I've seen those. Like they had
Ariel. She wasn't the Ariel from the movie. She was the Ariel from the Broadway.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
And then I don't know if you guys asked, but how long did it take you to get into your full chef costume?
I did.
Yeah.
You did?
You did,
Yeah.
but it did take a while. So I would start at intermission, getting into it. And it probably took about 10 minutes to get into it.
Okay.
My makeup was really easy. I mean, that was easy. Just I had little mustaches and a wig. And then I put on big red lips and cherry cheeks. But the costume took a while. It was a lot of buttons and a lot of zippers and ties.
You didn't have to do pin curls, which
No.
all girls on Broadway, y'all feel my pain in the butt, so you're lucky.
But I did have to wear a wig cap and then secure it.
Yeah.
Then my hat got secured to my wig.
Mm-hmm.
So, it kind of feels weird to have a hat on top of a wig. I mean, and that hat was pretty crazy.
The wig caps really definitely make it easier to put the wig on, but that hat goes fine. So is your hair.
Oh yeah, it takes.
Okay, so I had a backup question if you guys already answered it. So, what was your favorite song from the show?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you that. What's really interesting is that they used a lot of this Alan Menken's score to make songs. So we talked about a One Step Closer, which is da 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 da. Which he's playing on the boat with the dog. He's playing this little flute. I think that song is so beautiful and so romantic because from the side of Ariel, it's just so. It's just her wildest dream, which is what she sings about before. Then her voice, which you have down there, is magic. It's so perfect. It's the perfect answer to Part of Your World because it starts with da 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 da, where da da da, da 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 da, and he hears that and repeats it in the song, and then at the end, he hears it again. It's just so magical, and that gives me chills. And I sing that sometimes. Like when I do my show, I'll sing Les Poissons, and then I'll say, if it's okay, I explain Part of Your World and why that song was born out of Your World, part of Your World, and then I sing it because I say it gives me a chance to play a Prince, for 5 minutes, and it's just such a beautiful song, so beautiful.
Okay, and then I just thought about this. So in the musical, are there any? The songs in the musical, are there any that were supposed to be in the movie?
How
that you know of?
Oh,
well, I don't know. Maybe he would.
Question.
Maybe he would know.
No, because there's a lot of history. I don't think there was any. Alan may have written some things that were supposed to go into the movie. Because if you remember, if you see the movie, it's a lot of songlets. They're small, except for Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl, Part of Your World,
Poor Unfortunate Soul.
Poor Unfortunate Souls. Everything else is is a teeny song. Even Les Poissons, he said, was almost a throwaway. He wrote it as almost a throwaway. When we brought it to Broadway, he made it more. He had a big finish on ending and everything like that. So I'm not so sure about that. Of course, about Good Times Back and what's the sister song? Daddy's Little Angel. Daddy's Little Da 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 da. That's the new version. Daddy's Little.
Yeah, Daddy's Little Angel. Yeah.
That was originally in the show, and they took that out of the show, put in Good Times Back, and then they put Daddy's Little Angel back in for revivals because I think they just thought it explained Ursula's story better about all the sisters and killing the sisters, and I don't know. I still think it's a little tricky that Ursula and Triton are brother and sister. I think.
Yeah, I know what's that. I was like,
I just listened to the soundtrack in full. That did kind of confuse me a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, that's probably like one of the only few things from it that I do not like.
I think you could explain it. I think there's a way to explain it.
Actually, I think Stephanie and I were talking the other day about it, and so the idea she came up with was that Ursula was originally a mermaid.
Yes, a princess. Yes, and
then once she started using all this black magic and raiding and pillaging and what have you, and then when Triton banished her, he either her magic did it to her or he transformed her into what she became, a quote-unquote monster.
She became as ugly on the outside as she was on the inside.
That's how she described
it.
We came up with a version where she said she she was jealous of Ariel's mother, and she led her to the surface where she died. Where she's, pirates, whoever captures her, we don't know. She's caught in a fishnet. And then Triton finds out about it and is so sad about it, and then finds out that she had something to do with it. And he banishes her and gives, one thing to her and the other to Triton. And you're on that side of the sea. He's on this side of the sea, the dark sea. That's why she wants both, because she wants to control the whole sea. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
We come up with our own version, but it's not explained very well, I don't think.
They explained Ursula in Once Upon a Time too, and how she became like Mike. She was a mermaid, but what I liked was they combined the idea of Ariel's voice with Ursula. Like, she was a mermaid and she had a singing voice that was like from her mother, and her father's like, "Oh, I don't want you to go out to the world," blah blah blah. And then she goes to the surface and starts singing for the humans, and they love her and all that. And then she's like, "Oh, if I can't sing, then I'm gonna be a monster." She turns herself into an octopus.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just never been properly explained in the canon, but there are explanations, I guess.
I'd be down for an Ursula solo movie just to see
I think the best movie that kind of explained everything is especially the everything that happened to her mother is the third adaptation of Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning.
Yeah,
that Disney made.
Right. And that does have a thing where it kind of explains that whole thing.
Yeah, the second Ariel movie is confusing. We don't actually watch I don't know. And also, fun little fact: Ariel at Disney World will not talk about Melody unless you ask her first. If you mention Melody, "Hey, how's Melody?" she will talk about her, but otherwise, she never talks about her daughter.
Right.
Because she's the only one.
That's weird.
It's just because a lot of people don't know that Melody.
That movie.
But touching on the Ursula and Triton kinship, I actually think that was pretty well done, because in the movie, she's just, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go see the Sea Witch Ursula," and it's because she doesn't think her dreams are ever gonna come true and all that. And I mean, we know how the movie goes, but in the musical, she's she
kind of second guesses it.
Cautious.
Yeah, she second guesses it, but then she's like, maybe if my dad won't listen to me, maybe my aunt will.
Right, and there's a certain trust because it's family. So you're like, well, she's my aunt, so I gotta trust her a little bit.
Yeah, and Flotsam and Jetsam kind of convinced her to go, except in the song "Sweet Child" in the musical.
If Ursula is Ariel's aunt, does that mean Flotsam and Jetsam are Ariel's cousins?
They're not her children. They're just her
They're just her poopsies.
Her poop.
They're henchmen. They're the pain and panic of the Little Mermaid universe.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to take off, but before I go, I'm going to one more question. Do you have anything else before we go?
We have one more person.
Yeah, Michelle.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. We're sorry, Michelle. We completely forgot.
Okay, bye, Tyler.
I was like, no. Michelle, thank you for being patient, at least. But we got you.
We own this.
I've just been combing my hair
with your dingle hopper.
Anyway, so question.
Actually using a dingle hopper.
Okay, so was there any fun stories between you in the auditioning process with Sebastian, the guy who played Sebastian?
We did not audition together. I mean, we know each other, and he's a super guy and a super talented guy and funny actor. And he was a lot of fun to work with, I have to say. But we didn't audition together. We were just put together for that one number, and where I chased him around with the hatchet, and that was it. But Titus is a great guy. He's really yeah.
Yeah, so I just have two quick mini questions. So, in addition to Titus, it's how was it working with Sierra and Norm Lewis and all these?
Well, it was like Sierra's first thing. she had done Phantom in Las Vegas, and she had done tours of Les Mis and things, but it was her first Broadway show. So she was super excited, and she was a fantastic Ariel. And Sean Palmer is a lovely guy, and Jonathan Freeman, of course, I'd worked with him before, and we're just best pals. And Norm Lewis is the kindest, most generous guy. He's lovely to work with. And so I had known Norm before, but it was, it's nice to work with your friends. As you know, you guys are working together, so it's nice to work with your friends. It was that was all a gift. I mean, it really was. You're lucky when you get to work with your friends in a theater.
All right, one last question, and then we'll let you go. Tyler wants to know if you guys had any backstage rituals, or like not really rituals, it's probably a long word, but like backstage. What are they called? Routines, or like something that you do.
Rituals. Well, like everybody has their own thing. I have to say, when we were in Denver and when we were in New York, we had an actor. His name was Adrian Bailey, and he was just a great guy, a lot of fun, and he would bake for us. He would stay up all night and bake cookies, and he would bake biscuits and muffins, and kind of like what he did to de-stress, and just such a great guy and so generous, and all these fantastic recipes of cookies. People could request stuff, and it was just so fun to go to work to see what Adrian baked that day and what we would be eating.
Note to self: if I work on a Broadway show, get Adrian to bake cookies.
Oh my gosh, just amazing! He was, he's just a great baker and just a sweetheart. Michelle, did you have another question? Just because I felt like you got shortchanged.
Yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
Yes. So was after the show had ended, was there anything that you were allowed to take off the set?
Oh yeah.
Michelle, that is such a good question. Well, first of all, I have the fish. I'll go get them before we go. But you know what? When the show closed, I wasn't in the show. I had gone on to another show. They offered me my cleaver, and they said, "Just come by the office. We have it for you." And I never went and got it, and I regret it because it was such a special.
That's why it's sitting in the Walt Disney Archives now.
Yeah,
that's why it's in the Disney Archive.
I don't even think it's in the. If you go to the Disney theatrical office, there's a lot of props and a lot of costumes and pictures and stuff like that. But I don't know whatever happens to the cleaver. I don't know if somebody else took it or whatever. But
you should give them a ring and be like, "Hey, do you still have my cleaver?"
Or auction it off.
Well, I don't know. It would have been something to keep. But let me grab my fish. Hold on a second.
Well,
Disney doesn't really auction things off unless they don't.
I would do my whole life.
Exactly.
I really would.
He's very good at repurposing.
All right, so I'm gonna bring Tyler in right here real quick. So when he comes back, we can all say thank you.
You can all say au revoir.
Au revoir. So this was the first size fish. So this was the first size. So it's not that big. Like, what do I compare it to? Here's my cell phone, right? So you see how big it is. Basically.
Okay, yeah. So like, obviously that would be really hard to see if you're like up in the.
And it's made out of foam. It's foam rubber, so it's squishy. And this one I call gutsy because I put out the guts. So this was
That's awesome.
This was a prototype for that.
Pull out what's inside, and he serves it up right.
So they said gutsy was too small, so we went with bony, who got much bigger. And you pull out the bones, right?
Pull out the heads, and you pull out the bones.
So mind you, these were prototypes that were designed by the prop master. He built them, and then he gave it to me, and he said, you can have the prototype. Well, bony, they're both gold. So originally the fish were gold, and they thought, oh God, they're going to think you're killing goldfish, and the kids are going to get so upset. So they thought, what do we paint them? What color do we paint them? So they painted them bright red. So the fish were bright red because it kind of matched the palette of the show, which was gold and orange and red. So so I have the original gold look in my little palette here. The bones.
Nemo.
You can see it's just foam. Like, boning itself.
That's
Yeah. So it's kind of fun to have these guys. Even though I don't have the cleaver, I have bony and gutsy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I would definitely call up Walt Disney
so
Theatrical.
cool.
I would call up Walt Disney Theatrical and be like, hey, you got you guys offered it to me, and I don't know if you have it, but do you still have my cleaver?
I know they've been. I've been in that office many, many times, but I've never asked about it because I just thought, oh my gosh, it's buried somewhere at this point.
It probably is. And when
you're the original Louis, I'm pretty sure for you of all people, they would dig it up.
Yeah, but you also have to think like once they put all the Frozen stuff in there, the archives is gonna be real crowded because they got the bridge, the sled, the Olaf puppet. They got to put everything in there. So
think about it. There's Mary Poppins in there. There's Aida in there. There's Tarzan is in there.
Tarzan.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, all over the office, there's stuff. It's a very big office.
I just want to go to this office just so I can see all this stuff. Be like,
yeah, it is.
If I got to tour that place, I would probably. It's like rest in peace, me. I can.
That'd be so cool.
You would have to handcuff me because I would probably just try and take stuff. Like no lie.
Well, you do see a lot of stuff, and it is kind of fun to see all that stuff. You guys, it's been so fun talking with you and kind of reminiscing. And thank you for inviting me. And I'm glad I got to know it. And,
John, thank you so much. And I'll be sure to send you that screen grab of Heidi.
Yeah,
when she looked right down my camera.
Thank you so much, John.
I'm trying to see if I had a picture of Heidi and I that was really funny.
Oh my God, is it a picture of her in the makeup?
It's not easily grabbable. It was when it was us backstage. Oh
my gosh, I've always wanted to see her in the Ursula makeup.
Well, worst case is like you could always send it to Mike because we still have
yeah. No, she was Carlotta and not Carlotta. Carlotta? That's what she was, right?
Yeah. Carlotta. Eric.
Yeah.
Like primary handmaiden, pretty much.
Yeah, the maid. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was such a treat.
My pleasure. It's really fun to be with you. Take care.
Bye, John.
Bye.
What a way to go.
Okay, y'all.
So we just spent like an hour.
I'm so sorry, Michelle.
We're gonna cut down these songs. Like we're gonna just hit the main ones because I'm hungry and I need to eat dinner. So let's go right into the songs and try and do this within an hour so this stream is not incredibly long.
So like 5 hours. All right.
So we have an hour.
Hungry.
We're gonna keep this under an hour. Because A, we have some announcements, and B, me and Mike need to eat dinner, and C, I have a lot of crap to do tomorrow. So, but yeah, John, that was awesome.
All right.
Okay,
Liz,
first song.
All right, first song was Phantoms Below. Do we want to talk about it?
Anyone want to say anything about Phantoms Below?
Opening number.
It's a good intro. But I love that Eric had the actual singing line in there.
Yeah.
The salt on your skin and the wind in your hair.
Yeah.
I loved that bit from Eric.
But as for me, I'm gonna heave ho. I love that line.
Heave ho!
Go ahead. So what were you gonna say?
Nothing. Next song is Daughters of Triton. That kind of.
I like that because it's a good way of introducing the. Can you guys still see me? I don't know if because I'm.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's a good way of introducing the sisters and being like, okay, this is Ariel's family, so yeah.
And like all the family, like Triton, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Andrina.
Next song is The World Above. I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Ariel singing about first time you see Ariel in the show, same with Flounder, I believe.
Yeah.
She talks about how she wants to go the world above, the land, because she sees Eric and she wants to like be with him.
Yeah, he doesn't care what's gonna happen. I'm gonna.
Right.
But kids, they can be rebellious sometimes.
It also adds more depth to her character. Like she's not just a lovesick mermaid. She's an adventurer. This is something she loves to do.
She loves collecting human
things.
things.
Takes you back to that part of the movie where she's in the shipwreck and she dropped her bag in front of the shark, and then not even caring for her own safety, she goes and gets that bag. So it's like it's sort of highlights. I don't know. It takes me back to that moment in the movie because it shows that she's not just someone who's chasing love. She's chasing her dreams, her adventures.
Yeah.
The next song is "Human Stuff." That's when you first meet Flounder.
I love that number because it's so fun. Yeah. And he talks about the snort blaster and the dingo hopper.
Snarf blat.
Mm-hmm. Is that what is it?
It's a snarf blat.
What did I say? Snort blaster?
Yeah.
What? Well, whatever. They're both. I just love Scuttle.
Potato.
Yeah. Like he's just
like potato squash.
Okay, next.
Next, I Want the Good Times Back. That's where you meet Ursula. Mike, do you want to talk about it?
We touched on this with John, and it's like, as he said, the whole connection between Ursula and Triton wasn't well executed, but I did like I Want the Good Times Back and its subsequent reprise because it gave more backstory, a little more backstory to Ursula versus just being a random sea witch who wants to take over the seas. No, now she has a more
reason,
deeper and personal connection as to why she wants that power.
Yeah, because
now it's not just the fact that she's Spanish.
Yeah, and personally for me, sorry, I cut you off.
It was family betrayal.
Yeah.
Personally for me, because I've heard both songs. Sorry, I've heard both songs. Personally, I like I Want the Good Times Back better. Yeah.
Michelle, you have Michelle a cookie or something because we keep cutting her off.
Because in the other movies, like I just didn't understand how she could be his sister, especially because she has a other sister, which you see in the second movie. Mm-hmm. So that just it doesn't make sense to me how.
What was her sister's name again?
Morgana.
Morgana,
yeah.
Was it Morgana?
Morgana.
Wait. Excuse me.
And I think Pat Carroll came back to voice Morgana, actually.
Yeah, she did.
Pat Carroll, the original voice of Ursula, came back to voice Morgana.
I hate that her name is Morgana because with me, personally, the name Morgana just makes me think of Merlin and that whole...
Morgan Le Fay.
Katie McGrath. I'm not even going to go off on that because I don't want to go off a tangent about Katie because I
excuse me.
But, she doesn't look like a Morgana. You were better off naming her Medusa or something like that. That's just me. That's just me personally, but whatever. Next.
Next is Part of Your World.
Mike is indisposed at the moment. I am here to take over for him. Let me do my best. Oh my god, I love this song. It's the best song ever.
Okay. I personally.
That was awesome.
So what y'all don't understand is actually seeing, and I'm going to just mention the movie real quick, and I hate mentioning movies when we're supposed to be shining around theater. Actually seeing or hearing Jodie Benson actually sing parts of that song, it is amazing because she's not very young anymore, but she still has that voice. It's pure magic. It is amazing. But part of Your World, I feel like is one of probably will forever be one of the most iconic songs of this entire.
Yeah,
I love your shirt.
Part of Your World is my favorite Disney song.
It's one of the most iconic Disney songs. If you hear that song, you know exactly where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's like that, and When You Wish Upon a Star. You know exactly where they come from. You know what movies they're from because while the movies themselves may not have been as big as those songs put the movies in that position.
Where they are. Right.
Yeah.
Man, I have so many funny stories about Pinocchio that I know about.
Anyway.
But I'll tell you guys in the green room. Next song, or do we want to wait for Mike?
Next song.
Alright, next song. Storm at Sea is
It introduces
like
Ariel
that Storm at Sea is when they have the big like storm and Eric falls like to the ocean and Ariel saves him and brings him swims him to shore.
Yeah, introduces them.
Yeah. And then that's also where
What?
I said I wonder how technically they were able to do all that, you know. I'm just curious how technically they were able to set it all up, you know, for everyone to be on the ship and then the ship to go away and then, you know, Prince Eric floating down and then Ariel saving him.
What?
Of it. I think they have a video of it on YouTube of the Broadway show of how it happens and everything. It's pretty neat.
Okay. I think they do.
Yeah. Next song is She's in Love. That's where I love that song. That's where the Mer sisters and Flounder talk about Ariel and how she is acting strange. And then they all realize that she's in love. And then Flounder comes along, talking about how he's kind of upset, that Ariel's not really paying attention that much, right?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. And then it's a really good song. Anything you guys want to say about it?
Nope.
I just think it's a cute little.
Of the Broadway song, this is the first one I ever heard.
It's a cute little ditty.
Of this musical.
K-I-S-S-I-N-G. That line was funny.
It's a bop.
K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
Flounder.
Anything else about
you will
it?
play Flounder.
My favorite line, vocally, is when Flounder's as clear as H2O, or however it goes. Something like that.
Isn't he awesome?
Alright, next.
Everyone's okay, next. We have her voice. Eric sings about the voice that he hears.
Anyone have anything to say about that?
One of my favorites.
It's what John was saying about how when he first starts singing the song, it's kind of it matches Ariel's harmonizing where he's like, "Where could she be? Where did she go?"
You got it wrong.
Well,
yeah, it's
similar to that, but it's the way
where can she be?
It goes into the whole I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know something. I don't know when, I don't know how, but something. So, oh my God, how do I not know this?
It's I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. I just heard an echo, and that was really bad.
Oh, wow. When a young man sings it better than the original artist.
Yeah. What?
What?
When a young man sings that song better than the original artist.
Guys, we are so funny.
Okay, next.
Next. World Above reprise. That's when.
Only Johnny Benson hear you say that.
Ariel and Triton have their argument. Thing.
Okay, cool. We also need to keep in mind, John. He had pointed out, a lot of the reprises are just little filler songs. I don't think we need to touch on a lot of the reprises.
Yeah. Then we have
the argument and the destruction of the grotto, which pushes Ariel
to go to Ursula.
He brought up this interesting point of how do you go from the World Above reprise into a happy number like Under the Sea, and then back to going to Ursula? He thinks
no, because she went from Under the World or
Part of Your World,
the Part of Your World reprise, and then her dad came in and broke all of her stuff, and then it went from that
to Under the Sea.
Yeah.
And I remember this is how it did it in the movie. But there was something that was messed up in the musical because she didn't get the statue of Eric. So she knew she loved him, but
yes. I was like, woo.
there wasn't a reason there for her dad to come in and destroy. There wasn't a reason there for her to leave like that. No, she was just running away. So instead of saying, yes, I want to go be on land with my love, my dad's not listening to me, maybe my aunt will.
Yeah.
And then it became, oh, I'm just misunderstood at home and nobody loves me and I'm going to go talk to someone who might. She doesn't have, they kind of swept that away with the tide, and I didn't really enjoy that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Really quick with the song order, it was
we had the idea that the song should be rearranged to be part of your world reprise, Under the Sea, and then and then have the order discussion of the grotto, which forces Ariel to then go and see Ursula.
I'm looking at the song list. It was the storm at sea with the whole Eric and Ariel. She brings them to shore. Then that's where she sings Part of Your World reprise. And then it goes into She's in Love, Her Voice, World Above reprise, Under the Sea. That's how the song order goes in the musical.
But like it's that moment between her and her father, which tells her to go see Ursula. But in between that and Ursula, you've got a really amazing bop from the movie that everybody knows and everybody's gonna sing and jam and rock out to, and then you remember, oh yeah, she's upset about this. So she goes from being like totally dreams crushed to, yes, let's dance around with a whole bunch of fish and a Jamaican crab, to, no, my dreams are still crushed. Because it stops the momentum.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we also have to remember, like, after, like her whole father thing, Sebastian gets himself into the mess on having to, like, watch over Ariel, make sure, like, nothing bad happens, which he got himself into that mess.
Yeah.
Easily. And then that's how he was trying to convince her about the whole, life here is your home, the human world is a mess, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Then that's how it got into this, yay, let's clap our hands and dance along, guys.
Yeah, when you're trying to make the friend feel better, like, they'll be sad, then you for a short time make them happy again, but then they're reminded again why they're sad. It was just a way to get her mind off of it. He failed, obviously.
And she was never really, like, into it, because she was, like, still thinking about it.
Well, like, her mind was made up. Her mind was made up. She knew what she wanted. Like, a song about how being underwater is better, it wasn't going to change her mind. Her mind was made up. There was no change in it.
Right.
I think if I recall, in the movie, they do Under the Sea, but the reason Ariel leaves at the end is because Flounder tells her he found the statue.
Yeah.
And then she goes off.
And like I said, like, in the musical, it feels like it stops the momentum. Like, she may have that into it, but you're getting the audience into this bop that everybody knows and loves, and then you're going right to, I'm running away, goodbye.
So I think I think it would have solved the issue if they had included the statue, and that would have explained her swimming away during Under the Sea, and then put the World Above reprise after it again.
Are you guys eating Oreos?
Yes.
No.
How dare you?
I think in a way they were trying to replace.
No, just for that, we'll go on to the next song. End of discussion. Go on to the next song.
Okay, well, really quick. And then I'm just gonna quickly touch on this. The line, like, when after Under the Sea, it goes into that quick reprise, and then he, like, because Sebastian's all, yay, happy, let's clap our hands and sing about it, about how wonderful the sea is. He's like, wait, where's Ariel? And then that's pretty much where that song ends.
Yeah.
Then it goes into Sweet Child, which is
just could have been put into Under the Sea.
I think we can, like, just quick skim over that. I mean, I want to, but
I kind of want to talk about one of my favorites. So Sweet Child is where Ariel kind of meets Flotsam and Jetsam, and then they're convincing her, excuse me, to go see Ursula. And she, Ariel is kind of, like, hesitant, and then, like, talking about, like, my dad said she was evil, but then they finally convinced her to go, and she went.
Yeah,
and then that leads into
kids. It's okay to go with strangers.
Yeah, but then again, that's what I was talking about with the momentum, because in the musical, you know, she's like, "Oh, I'm just running away now," and with no real plan on where to go, you know, except up to the surface. And and I'm sorry, Liz, you can kill me for it later. In the movie, she is given, and they're like, "Oh, well, you know, Ursula could help you be with this guy that you're in love with," versus she knows your dreams, you know. And that's a great little musical number to sort of cover how Ursula is like spying on her. But also, like, again, there's that lack of momentum, that lack of reason, because now it's just she wants to go up an adventure and she doesn't know how to get there. Go talk to family. Before it was, this is a desperate need for some flippin' affection. So I'm going to go and get these legs because, you know.
Right.
It's not letting your emotions do your thinking for you.
I still want to know what.
So,
why would
next song is.
Well, hold on. Let's have Michelle put on this.
Okay, what?
I wanted to hear what Michelle thought. She's been silent.
Like, I actually get to speak.
Yeah, Michelle, you should know this by now. You need to fight for the time to talk. You need to fight for it.
We owe Michelle a cookie and a coffee.
Ooh, cookie.
Today.
Okay.
Michelle,
I definitely agree about the momentum, and it just, the movie's better, but I really enjoyed the musical, and they needed to work on the momentum, but yeah. Okay, next song.
Go ahead, Liz. Sorry.
Nothing point. Next. I think I know what song's next.
All right. So Sweet Child goes into Poor Unfortunate Souls, where Ariel. Liz, I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Okay, so y'all, Poor Unfortunate Soul is like my favorite song. It is my favorite song in both the Broadway, in both the musical and the movie. But basically, it's Ursula being like, "Come on, make a deal with me. I can help you. I can do this and this and this." And I just love the whole number in the movie and in the musical because it's just like a little fun beat. Like the beat of the song is just so fun, and I don't know why I love it so much, but it's probably one of the only songs from this movie that I will listen to on repeat. And that's just me. What
is it? Me or is Mike and Michelle like blinking out?
What?
Never mind. It went back to normal.
But it's Ariel is just like, I don't know about this. She's basically making a deal with the devil in a way. That's how I see it. She's making a deal with the devil. But
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. For me, I like the musical version much better.
Why?
Well, it's also due to the extra couple. I'm pretty sure they added it for the musical. I don't know if it's in both versions. But when they added the couple lines where like, men up there, they don't like a lot of blabber, like that whole part.
No, that was in the movie.
That was in the movie.
It was?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't.
Aside from some of the speaking lines, that song is pretty much word for word from the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't seen the movie in such a long time. Unfortunately.
I'm not gonna lie.
I need to watch it.
That scene. It scared me when I was little. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I forgot something. Later, I'll show you guys. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I have something awesome.
I think what I love about Ursula is that she. This is gonna sound really bad, but I mean this in a positive way. For anybody who gets offended, I'm sorry, but she knows she's big. And she doesn't care. She's comfortable with who she is. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna like shake my junk and be like.
That was awesome.
Body language.
I have to say,
you have your looks. You have your something. Don't forget the importance of body language. That was really good. I can't. But
I have to say,
Michelle, you need to
put on lipstick because of Ursula. I learned how to put on lipstick because of Ursula.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm not gonna lie. When I was little, that's how I put lipstick on. How Ursula, I just went, and it did not look good at all. I was like, was like 8 when I first tried lipstick. It was bad, but Ursula is like one of my top 3 favorite Disney villains. A, because she gets wrecked in the movie at the end. She gets straight up.
So at the end when she dies, that scared me. Now when she's singing this song, I wasn't scared. Now with her little creature things, that were mermaids, I was scared of that. Yeah. But the only time I was ever really scared of Ursula was when she got really, really big and everything.
And Tarzan, I noticed this because I watched Tarzan like last year I was watching it. You can see Clayton dangling in the tree on the shadow when he dies, and I'm like,
wait, what happened?
When Clayton's cutting the vines to try and get the Tarzan, and he cuts the wrong one and ends up hanging himself. When the machete hits the ground and the lightning strikes, you can see his body dangling on the trunk of the tree as a shadow.
Yeah,
it's dark. It is, and that and there was another one.
It's kind of similar to when Gaston was falling to his death, and you see the skulls in his eyes.
Yeah, that and
you do?
The evil queen gets.
If you paused it at the right moment, Tyler, when Gaston is falling back and he realizes he's about to die, they make it so he looks sort of back up at if he was real where the camera would be, and you can see the skull and crossbones in his eyes.
I need to rewatch some of these movies. I haven't watched.
I'll send you a screenshot of the Tarzan one. I'll send you a screenshot of the Tarzan. Like if you look,
like when the evil queen White dies, the way that you know she's dead is the 2 vultures go down circling.
Yeah, that.
And the vultures they eat the freshly dead.
I literally just watched Snow White like a few days ago. Literally, I've been watching so long.
These old Disney movies, they were dark. The way they kill the villains is very dark. And
during the Renaissance, it was very dark.
I'm just gonna
especially for Pinocchio.
Especially
for Pinocchio.
I don't remember.
Not for the movie per se, but like the opening day of the movie when it came out is like a dark story of what happened. I'll tell you why.
We'll tell us in the room. But anyway, but for unfortunate souls, I don't know why. It's just something about
that was a perfect Act 1 ending number.
Oh yeah,
that's what ended Act 1.
Yeah,
the transformation though, when Ariel transforms from mermaid to human, was amazing.
It was so simple, but it looked so good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't try anything too spectacular or fancy, on like with Elsa's dress or like with Beatrice's dress. They didn't do anything too spectacular. They kept it simple with her just trying to shake the tail off, and
it was still flawless because I think with the lighting, it was dark below a certain point. So they were able to get Sierra out of the actual tail and put the temporary dress on her, which would transform from the tail to the dress.
It was light enough where you could kind of see, but it wasn't so dark where it was like a blackout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's how you can kind of explain the lighting.
Once they raised her up, you could see her. But until they raised her up, you couldn't see her, which allowed her to get the main tail off and had the temporary tail, which transformed into the dress on. So that way, as she wriggled, it looked like the tail. But when she kicked a certain way, that kicked it open.
Yeah, it started opening up as the little rag dress that she wears. But I don't think there was any song they could have done that would be a perfect end to Act 1 because it is.
Unless they added something for Ariel, maybe.
That's where, because I feel like that there and in the movie, that's where the story it's like okay, this is where the exposition, like when you look at the little that you learn in like middle school, the exposition, the climax, and all that.
Yeah.
This is like where the exposition finally starts going up, and I think I would say the climax of the movie and the production is
the transformation
when Vanessa comes into the picture, and then obviously everything comes back down after that. But
so Act 2 begins, opens with you finally seeing Ariel with her legs because you don't see it at the end of Act 1, right? I don't think you see it. I think the transformation, then it goes black.
Yeah, you see her legs kicking, but then it goes black.
Yeah. So then you opens up Act 2. You see Ursula with her legs.
All right,
Ariel. And then you enter positivity.
No, he's pointing at his
pointing at his hashtag because he's being
positivity.
John had a hashtag too.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I was like, that's awesome. Hey there, dear.
So yeah, so positivity, Mike's hashtag.
Take it away.
Take it away.
It's just like it's such a catchy little tune.
Mm-hmm.
It takes like 2 minutes.
It's a bop.
I think it's a good way to encourage Ariel to actually.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but it's probably one of my least favorite numbers in this musical.
I will agree with you on that.
Y'all are allowed to disagree. I see Michelle's face though. I want to know what she thinks.
See, no,
I just think it's a fun number. Is it one of the greatest numbers in the show? No, but I just think it's a catchy, fun number.
I think they
I like to start off the new act.
Yeah,
it's a good bop. It's a good, you're getting your feet under you and it's kind of hard, but you got this. And Donald was always so supportive of Ariel anyway. So for me, like, it's a cute little bop. It's a great way to start off the second act. So I think it's good. I agree with Michelle. It's not the best, but it's a song that I'll catch myself singing, like, in the shower.
I respect it as a number. It's just not my favorite. I don't have anything bad about it. I don't have anything. I'm not gonna hate on it because it is a good song. It's just not my cup of tea.
I don't know about you, Liz. But for me, I like human stuff more than positivity.
Yeah, same.
I will agree on that because I think
it's
subtle.
It's subtle.
Human stuff is really funny.
Yeah. Then
Anyway,
are we ready for the next song?
Yep.
All right, next song is "Beyond My Wildest Dreams." This is where. This is where. So before the song, Eric sees her, brings her to the castle.
Yeah.
And then the scene takes place in the bathroom, like she's in like the tub or whatever, and she's singing.
Oh yeah, she's getting
about like how amazing it is, like how amazing like the castle is, and how like everyone's so nice. She's like, look over there, like blah 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 blah.
She's seeing all this for the first time, and she is.
But this is so really quick, kind of like so when you're like seeing like seeing the like watching the song or hearing it. When she's singing, she's like thinking like in her head because she can't talk.
Like, because I was just about to be like, wait a minute, didn't she trade her voice? But yeah, it's her inner thoughts, which I think is really creative that they were able to.
And when I saw the show,
it's all in the lighting because when she's actually singing her thoughts, there's no one else on stage, and the spotlight's only on her.
I remember when I saw the show.
It's like with Elsa doing Queen Anointed, Dangerous to Dream, how it goes low light on her, and everyone else is like in the background, it's darkened because she's singing to herself. Soliloquy.
A moment when time stops and you're alone in your thoughts. It's kind of similar to the duel in Hamilton. When Hamilton is dueling after his son's death, and the bullet or time slows down, and Hamilton has that time with his thoughts.
Okay. Next.
Really quick. I remember when I saw the show, I could hear people behind me saying, "Why is she singing?" Because they were so confused.
I want to turn on my Twitch.
I was literally gonna do that. I was gonna be like, listen.
Yo, it's called a solution. Why do I look like I have like a tan line right here? I look like I have a tan line on my arms right here. That's weird. Anyway,
I've seen Little Mermaid, like the music.
Wait,
I've seen me. I've seen Little Mermaid probably 3 times though. Just saying it, but that's why. Yeah.
So before she started singing in her head, the lady actually who was like giving her bath and everything was, saying, like, oh, I'm going to take these rags away and this and that. And she was like, oh, I wonder what you're thinking. She says that, kind of letting you know that when she's singing, it's going to be all in her head.
Yeah, so they're all So the fact that those people behind you did not understand what's going on, stupid. I mean, granted,
you also have to be able to take the context clues. So,
Right.
I mean, I agree with you, and I agree with Tyler, like, oh, it's obvious that this is what she's thinking, but, like, if you're not able to pick up on those tiny, subtle hints, those context clues, you're just never going to get
Or we at least have a general background of the musical, you know what I mean? If you know that she can't talk, that will give you an idea that she's thinking in her head.
Mm-hmm. But then it's also like, it's not like you go to Broadway shows and things to actually hear live singing. So it would be weird to go to a Broadway show and just hear a pre-recording of Sierra singing it and just miming with the song.
Yes, that's I don't even.
That would be hard.
It would work more with continuity because then she wouldn't be actually moving her lips. Yeah. But then it would be weird to just hear a pre-recording of her voice as she mimes along with it.
But if they did the audio the right way, you wouldn't even be able to tell.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but next.
The next song is one of the songs that I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
John?
It's John. Le Poisson. I still can't say it. That's the next song. Le Poisson. Yeah, right? Yeah. Close enough.
Your French is a little rusty, but you're doing good.
It basically means like the poison or something.
No, it means the fish.
Or the
yeah.
Oh, it's fish? I thought it was poison. I always thought it was the French word.
That's what I always thought, though.
Poison them. He's the chef.
Well, I mean, it's literally about like killing fish and serving them
right.
up.
Anyway, love good.
Is deep.
Wait, where did Michelle go?
We lost Michelle.
Love good.
Michelle.
We scared her.
The device can't.
Is she in private?
No, she's in the green room. The device can't connect, so she can't. Her video won't show up. I can't add her. There she is.
There we go.
Okay. Le Poisson.
Okay, so I have a fun story about this. When I was I was either 8 or 10, and I was taking ballet, jazz, and tap classes. And for one of the recitals I did for my ballet class was we danced to this song, and I played a shrimp.
That's awesome.
That's so cute. If there are pictures, I want to see them.
Yes.
I have pictures and I have video.
Send them to the chat.
Or
I have the video on VHS, but I have pictures.
I have a VCR.
I do too.
When you come and see us on the 28th.
Wait, put it in the VCR player or whatever it's called. Record it on your phone and then send it to the group chat so I can see it. Because I won't like.
There you go.
Big brains. Big brains.
Big brains. All for it.
Tyler has a certain gull ability.
Should I hit the flip flop again?
Nope.
You know,
so I've always been a shrimp.
That's okay. Too.
But yeah, it's like John was showing us with the prop fish he had from the Denver shows before it actually went to Broadway. It was so clever how they actually first cut off the heads and pull out the bones, and he pulls off that part of the fish to show the bones, and then the other fish, Gutsy, when he says, "I pull out what's inside and I serve it up fried," and he actually throws it in the pot. That is clever.
It's genius.
Okay. Oh, that's
kind of.
Yeah, because they did it.
I don't know.
Okay.
But
it's cute.
But Le Poisson reprise is it's the best. I loved it. It was
the song itself and
not the best.
A fun song.
Yeah.
But it's still hilarious to see
the reprise is when Ariel is because it's fish. And they talk about how the fish could be prepared. It's fish tartare and all these things. And then all you see is like the chef like brings out like this platter or whatever, and he's like a delectable treat. And then then he like lifts the lid with Sebastian in it. Then they're like, or whatever.
And then Titus starts running around the stage with Louis chasing him with that cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's like, I wanted to ask John this, but I didn't have the opportunity. But I wanted to ask him how big the space was in the cart that Titus was sitting in. Because with that Sebastian costume with the extra legs, you have to imagine it probably takes up a decent amount of room.
Or maybe like a separate kind of costume that could kind of like a little smaller like version, like maybe with some like couple like legs missing, maybe kind of like thing, so it can fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got wrap it up because I gotta go help my mom.
Next song.
I hate saying that live, like saying like we need to wrap it up. Like I
understand. All right, next song is One Step Closer. That's when they have the dance between Eric and Ariel. And, like, she doesn't really know how to dance. But he's, like, singing about it and, like, showing her or whatever. I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Holy crap, what? I just heard, like, a big, like, mic, like...
I think that happens on the computer sometimes.
Why are you blaming me?
Yeah.
Because I
didn't blame you.
When you speak, but it's whatever. But it's like, it was like John was saying, is that she doesn't need her voice for Eric to love her.
Yeah.
Because he's only in love with the person behind the voice.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak. And it's that moment where actually being with the person he loves.
Yeah.
And it was what John said when they kind of played a few bars of the song that was played earlier in the movie when they're on the ship and they're dancing and playing music.
And it's the song that also plays when they're doing the carriage ride throughout the...
Yep, they also do. I think that plays through a majority of the song.
That is the song.
Mm-hmm.
I think Liz is getting a little hangry.
Yeah. So next song is Kiss the Girl.
Which needs no context.
I do like that song. I remember
my only thing is, can Eric hear them? Because in some lore, only the creatures of the sea can hear the other animals speak and sing. So what's going on in Eric's head during that? Is he like, oh my god, these animals are going to attack us?
I've always wondered that. I'm like, can he not? Because Ariel can hear him. But
it'll be a cool movie.
Ariel just fine, but like.
But
yeah. And why did they change the name?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
When he's like trying to guess her name, he was saying different names than they said in the movie.
I think they just sort of like, because in the movie he didn't go by like
I don't know. In the A's.
I think he kept it in the A's. Not in the movie though. In the movie he started out with like Beatrice. But like for the play, if they kept it in the A's, he was just going down a list.
He was starting with A and working his way down. Although he did jump into B. He did jump into Beatrice.
I think Beatrice is one of the names you have to nail in that, but like, I don't know.
But then it's like, it was like you were saying, how do all of these marine and waterfowl sing together and Eric doesn't hear it? But the moment when Sebastian whispers, her name is Ariel, that's what he hears.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian magic?
No, maybe I don't know. That's the love of Disney magic.
Sebastian.
All right.
Maybe.
Can I got you back, please?
And Scuttle only got a little thing there. Like he didn't start out where he was doing the wah 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 in the very beginning. He only got a little bit of that. And I was like, what?
Yeah, but he heard Scuttle, and Scuttle sounded like a seagull to him, as opposed to Scuttle sounding like Scuttle to Ariel. So Ariel is part of the merge. Part of that.
Like Aquaman. Maybe she's like Aquaman. Aquaman can understand the fish, and the fish can understand him. But humans can't understand fish. But I don't know where I was going with that.
Well,
No, Liz, you're right.
Conspiracy theory.
What?
Yeah, that does make sense.
How would Eric? What would have been going through Eric's head during that scene if he couldn't understand what was going on? Oh my God! All these fish are swimming around us and spitting at us. Oh my God! All of these noises.
This is why I like talking about Disney musicals. It's like this whole like okay.
Even in the musical.
But see,
You
I
have to
think for
also think,
Eric,
like,
I
what
think
would
he
he be
was
thinking
so
also in the movie?
enamored. And I think Eric was so enamored with Ariel, and he was beginning to fall in love with her. He was ignoring all of that, and he was focusing on her.
That's a true man up there. That's how you do it, man. Next song.
All right, next song is my favorite in the musical. If Only Quartet.
All right.
So good. So this is kind of it includes Ariel, Sebastian, Eric, and Triton. And she's, I believe, so starting with Triton, he doesn't know where Ariel is. So he's like,
and also, can you like how bad of a father that is? Your kid's been missing like for 2 days now, and you just now realize it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the line.
He knew. He's like, it's been 2 whole days and I don't know where you have gone. So he knew she was gone. He just didn't know where she went.
Yeah, right. I think your kid's gone for a day, you'd be searching for them. And if he was searching for her, he obviously didn't do a good job.
Well, one of the speaking lines in the musical, was it, I mean, Tyler, you've seen it 3 times. Was it not something like, didn't he send somebody out to go look for her at some point?
They didn't do a good job.
Oh yeah,
lost over.
I think he said Flounder, and he said when you find her, give her this message, or tell her this.
So for Triton, he's like, how can she just suddenly completely disappear into thin water? Then this is 2 days later. So it's like, it's been 2 whole days and I don't know where she has gone, and like all that. So Sebastian is trying. So then Sebastian, he is trying to like comfort Ariel, I believe. So he's like, oh yeah, it's about to be like the day of the ball. So he's says, bless you, child. Tomorrow the prince will have his pick of any princess in the land. How could a Little Mermaid compete with that? Then he's like, if only I knew how, I make you see the light and everything. Eric's still singing about trying to find the girl with the voice. And then Ariel is like, if only like Eric knew like about like who she is, because she can't talk to him.
Okay,
so like she's upset about that.
Why not just like be like, hey,
I can't hear anyone.
Okay, Michelle first.
Yeah, I can't hear anyone.
So I like this song, but I feel like they could have had it where they only had Eric, Sebastian, and King Triton sing the song, and then had a different song for Ariel because of the song One Dance. Mike, you know that song. One Dance. Like
I can hear you guys now.
They could have put that in there because I know this song, but like where like what does it go to? Like I feel like it needs to go into a storyline for the Little Mermaid.
See, I think that'd just be too much though.
Right.
Yes, Stephanie?
Yes.
Stephanie? That comment that John made.
Sorry, go ahead with that comment that John made.
That was awesome.
John made that I think when the other ladies were singing that she was moving. Ariel wasn't singing. She was moving to the notes.
She was dancing.
She was dancing to it.
They gave Ariel a line, or I guess she went to go sing, and instead of singing, she danced. And Grimsby said she hasn't said anything, and Eric was like, "Really? I heard every word." But touching on this one that we're talking about now, Eric's part at one point, he says something about wishing that the girl with the voice was Ariel, because he didn't know what he was going to do when he found the girl with the voice, but he knew he was starting to fall in love with Ariel. So there is that little nod in there, I think.
Yeah, he says, what is it about her that's so wonderfully, impossibly familiar? Why do I feel dizzy in a way I only felt but once before? How come when she looks at me, seems like time stops moving, almost like the way it did that day up on the shore. And then he's like, but that voice, and kind of like does that melody of her voice, like the chorus of it. But the vocals in it and how they like harmonize, it gives me chills.
Yeah.
Especially when all four harmonize. It gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it.
I mean, it's Sean, it's Norm Lewis, and Sierra Bogus harmonizing together. It's like
Bogus. You got it. I think you said it wrong, or it just might have been me.
Bogus. That's me. She's not bogus.
Sorry, Sierra Bogus, Norm Lewis, and Sean. I forget his last name off the top of my head, but it's like all of them harmonizing together was really well done.
It's something that like it's rare.
They need to do like a reunion thing. Man. But yeah, so then after, is that all we have to say about that?
Yeah. For me.
All right.
Yes.
Next song is the contest. Well, it's not like really like a singing song. Kind of is. But it's the contest. So it's the day where Eric finds the girl. So they want every girl that's there to sing. So it's like every girl singing like about how she is the girl, but she isn't. It's pretty funny how some of the girls sing like on like purpose. It's somewhat hilarious.
Yeah, and for anyone wondering, they're having them sing Ariel's harmonization. So in Fountains Below, when Eric hears her singing that's where they're having each girl sing. But each girl is
really, some of them, right? They do it wrong. Like it's not like
it's not wrong.
Like
they're adding extra vibrato. They're adding high keys,
and they do it like some like different. Like they're like like ones like that, and it's like weird. I'm like, what is that?
They're not me right.
One of them did be like
because obviously they're not Ariel.
Right. And then we have. Is that all we have to say about it? All right. Then we have the Poor Unfortunate Souls reprise, which is kind of the whole thing with Ursula and Triton, like Ursula, stop, and all that.
Like National was like, your daughter signed a contract. Like in
and it's like,
your daughter signed a contract. No.
It's like, well,
even
if you want to
drew
save your
a little
daughter,
heart above the eye.
It's just that whole thing.
I can sing the whole musical.
Your daughter made a
top
good
of my head.
contract. Now, if you want to take her place, you can. You can switch your soul for hers. And then that leads into the whole battle.
Which I love. I love the whole battle sequence. It's just it was really well done for this being a Broadway show. Because something like that is hard to do on stage. Because some of the stuff you can't do on stage.
And it's not like a typical like stage fight because they're fish. They can't like boom boom like that. And it's like you need to make it like.
No, I remember in Kingdom Hearts there's the aerial level. It's all musical games. Like you have to hit the button at the right time to get the music and everything. And there's this song that Ursula sings in it, and I absolutely love it. I was like, I wish this was in the movie. They sing it while they're fighting her. And that is probably one of my favorite levels, just because of the music. And they made new music for Kingdom Hearts when they did the aerial level.
Which Kingdom Hearts? Which one?
I think it's the second. No, they don't go. They don't see Ariel in the third game. They go to Ariel in the first and second game. I think it was the first game. The first time they see Ariel, and they had to fight Ursula because it goes according to the storyline. I'm impressed with all these new songs for the game. They were really good.
I could never get past Hercules.
Wait.
They're gonna roast you in the green room about that. You know that, right?
I don't care. I got it forever. It took forever to get past Alice in Wonderland, and I could never get past Hercules. So
you want to what? You're gonna hate me for this. For me to beat all the Kingdom Hearts games, it took me 2 days to beat all the Kingdom Hearts games. It took me a day to beat the third one, a day to beat the first one, a day to beat the second one. Birth by Sleep took a little while. I'm not gonna lie. Birth by Sleep probably took about a week, but I beat the games within a month. All the games within a month. So the fact that
I had to give them up because I was working at a factory at the time, so I couldn't really devote a lot of time to them. But I tried so hard to get past that Hercules level. I tried for like 2 months, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. And I cleared all my data and gave the game away.
It's hard. It's pretty. If you it depends on the difficulty. Because I play on expert or extreme hard or whatever they call it, and I'm able to beat it.
My brother just got the game for his birthday. He has the third one. My grandma bought him.
Yo, I'm very upset about the Frozen level. I'm very disappointed in it. Because you work all the way to get to the top of the mountain, you get knocked down, you gotta go all the way back, you get knocked down again, and then that's the end of the level. I'm like, this is so stupid. What the hell?
Yeah. All right, back to Little Mermaid. So the next song is "If Only" reprise, which Ariel says like sorry to her dad, and then he's like, Triton's like, man, these humans aren't so bad. So then he like gives her permission to like stay with him, with Eric, and he like does like magic so she can like actually now talk to him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Although I think when they defeated Ursula, it was kind of similar to how they did it in the movie. It's like the shell breaks or something.
The shell breaks. Yep. And then the voice goes back to Eric.
Sorry, that was really bad.
Yeah. And then I just love the line.
He realizes, he even says that.
And she gets her fin back, I believe.
He says, I've given independence to my kingdom, but not to my own daughter.
Yeah.
That's important. That's a good point.
That's like also, I love the line that Grimsby delivers. And I mentioned this earlier when we had John on. And it was when Eric was talking to Grimsby, and Grimsby was like, I'm just happy she's royalty.
Yeah.
And then Keaton Triton says, well then, if we are to celebrate, let us celebrate as one. And I guess it's meant to signify
the unity of humans and sea life.
The rainbow!
Yeah, and I think
let's clap our hands and sing.
Like she opens it and humans can see the more people.
Yeah, but like, okay, can we also talk about how these humans, they don't freak out when they find out mermaids are real? I would freak out. I'd be like, what?
I'd be like, can you make me one, please? I want to be one.
I think, let's be real. We would know who's on mermaid.
Who's on right now?
No one.
I just love the lines, though, that open the finale. It's like, and now at last, love has surpassed each tribulation. Mermaid and man finally can join and be one. Now they can smile, walking the aisle.
We get it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. So now...
Oh, gosh.
What? Sorry, Michelle, did you say something?
Anyway,
final. We don't want to get copyrighted.
No, copyrights.
I had to go.
So now it's off to the finale. Yay!
I'm not gonna lie, I do love the finale. I don't know if it's a great.
Don't they sing Part of Your World?
What?
Don't they sing like Part of Your World for it or something?
I think some of the notes are interwoven into it, like a little bit of the tune in there.
That's what I like.
I also love the costume change. How Eric and Ariel go off stage, and when they come back, they're on the ship, and Ariel's in her wedding dress, and Eric is in his like formal suit.
Yeah.
Which looked really good on stage.
That's his military.
But the thing is, with finale, I just like with that whole thing, like interweaving and like laying songs on top of one another, it's actually very difficult. I've tried it, and so like with how the music itself is, it's just I love it. Gives me goosebumps.
Like that's just a tribute to Alan Menken and like how he seamlessly interweaves other songs and scores into one another. Like that's part of his musical genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lyrics are. It says.
Because Howard Ashman gave her her voice.
What? Yeah. Sorry.
R.I.P. Howard Ashman.
It's kind of coming in and out. Yeah. So it says, now they can be who they meant to be. Now they can gaze on a new horizon. Here between ocean and sky, forever and on. Now they can walk. Now they can run. Now they can stay all day in the sun. Just you and me. And I will be part of your world. And then
those were the lines that were in the movie. They brought those lines over from the movie, but they added the main part of the finale for this show.
Then they have more stuff, but that's just the main ending.
Like I mean, I don't know. It's just one of my top 5 favorite finales of Broadway shows.
Yeah, and it has that good Broadway dun. I think at the end. Yeah. Because that's where the blackout. I'm like those Broadway
I love those. I love those immediate blackouts. It's like just something about it that's just like what just happened. Because they did that.
It gives a powerful moment.
Liz, it's kind of similar to the blackout that happens in Wicked when Elphaba sings her battle cry.
When she sings that final
note, with that final note, and it's just black.
Yeah, it's like
It's crazy that timing they can do. That timing is
Let It Go and Frozen. When Elsa hits that last note, she's like, oh shoot, what's the last note? I don't know. Whatever the last note in Let It Go is, and then she just does this epic turn, and then it goes.
The cold never bothered me anyway. And then boom.
She does this she does this turn, and it goes out. It goes out. Turn, which I think the turn is a great touch, by the way. But
yes,
and a great nod to the movie too.
Oh yeah. But and also a good nod to the Demi Lovato cover version that she did for the movies. That when she sings before the prize the first time in forever, she sings "Standing Frozen" and the Black Frozen, which is from the Demi Lovato version. Which I do like. Anyway, back to Little Mermaid. I'm sorry.
Little Mermaid. Well,
there is something I want to touch on real quick before we go though. Something we didn't really talk about in detail. King Triton's costume and Flotsam, Jetsam, and Flounder's costumes.
Yes.
Ursula, too. It was a good
costume. Just her wig alone was amazing.
Who, Ursula?
Yep. And then her armbands that she wears.
I applaud anybody who wears that costume because we talked to John in the green room about how the costume's heavy or not. And he mentioned that it was because of all the layers, but then one guy he said, "Oh, I'm not going to do it because it's so heavy." And then they removed all the layers, and then when he came back to wear it again, he goes, "Wow, it's so light." But I love the eels. I love the eels. Jetsam's the only one I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have little stuff.
Little Mermaid is
what?
I said Little Mermaid is such. It's unfortunate that the show had to end. It only ran for a year, under a year, I believe. Because it was 2008 to 2009.
Yeah, it ran from
and that was the same with Tarzan.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a reprise of Tarzan because I would really love to see that.
Yes.
Yeah, they still play it in Germany, I believe. They do. Yeah.
Yeah, because Kevin Massey, who I saw at Epcot, he mentioned that it is huge in Germany over there. That's because Phil Collins is a huge star over there.
Vilma, what?
Because I believe, what's his name?
Phil Collins.
Not Kevin Massey. No, the guy that played Tarzan on Broadway. He opened for him. Yes, Josh Strickland. I believe he opened it in Germany as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he had to learn German. Unless he already knew it.
Can we just say how by far, in my opinion, the music from Tarzan the movie is just the best because Phil Collins is amazing. I love Phil Collins.
It's probably just because it's the Broadway and it's more upbeat. Some of the songs I like how the music sounds in the musical. Because some of in the movie it sounds kind of slower a little bit, like same with like especially with like Strangers Like Me, it sounds like if you listen to both of them, like it sounds different.
APO, and I found a really cute picture that's from Frozen. What? Oh.
What?
All right, Liz. Well, Liz, we are past the 9 p.m. mark, so I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
But me and Mike also have a special announcement because I was up till 2 a.m. working on this, so I get it done for today because I don't want to wait enough to release it because I'm so excited. I went on ahead with Mike's help and finally made an official logo for the Theater 101 series. And as soon as I get off here, I am going to officially release the first line of Theater 101 merch. Not for my channel, but not to be sent over. You guys know what I mean. It's the Theater
free copies.
The Theater 101 series merch for the show. It's alone. I hopefully will have my own personal channel merch out soon as I work with this lovely artist who is making my own logo. But yes, as soon as we get off the stream, I'm gonna go ahead and launch that merch for you guys. And I also will put the description in my link, the link in my description.
Link in the description.
I cannot talk, and then I'll also send it to Mike and everyone else here, so y'all can spread it around. And I'm probably gonna go ahead and buy myself a shirt because they actually look pretty cool.
Who are you doing it through?
Spreadshirt.
Okay, so everyone, really quick, because I know it's for stores that, open. 15% off for, I believe it's 9 days. Or something. 15 days. You get 15% off when the store launches.
Hey, okay, there you go, guys. 15% off. We got some shirts, we got some hats, we got some buttons, we got some bags, we got some bandanas. But yeah, be sure to check out that.
Bananas?
One banana, please.
One banana.
Sorry. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go buy a shirt from Orlando Mike's channel. Y'all go check out his merch.
Go check out my merch too. I have merch now. I have merch now. I'll send the link.
What?
Liz, make sure you put the link to my spreadshirt in the description too.
I'll send you mine too.
Yeah, both of y'all send me your links. I'll put the link for the Theater 101 series merch in the link description below. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go buy myself an Orlando Mike shirt and a Theater 101 shirt because why not? So
and the GibFamily.
And the GibFamily. But
now 8 more days till discount's done.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Big thank you to John for coming on and chatting with us and having a grand old time. Nice.
So much fun.
I love finally being able to watch this musical.
What?
Oh, next week. I don't know how you remember. Next week.
I loved finally being able to watch this musical.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mike had the day we actually made this thing official. It's like, hey, let's do the show. He's like, we got to do the Little Mermaid. I was like, okay. He was set on it. I was like, okay, if we don't do this show soon, he's gonna kill me. But next week, for those who do not know, we are going to be doing Ghost. And no, we are not doing the movie Ghost. We are doing the Broadway show Ghost. It is based off the movie. I honestly like the musical better. But we'll be covering Ghost. I will send you guys the link to the video, to the play. And it has my homegirl Casey Levi in it. That's just a bonus. Sorry.
You know what? Wait. Really quick. Isn't it? So it's not Casey Levy?
Yeah, no, it is. She plays Molly.
No, I'm saying her actual name. Is it Levy or Levi?
It's Levi. I found out it's Levi.
Because it's weird. I watched the video on Frozen on Broadway with Katie Murin, right? Murin, who played Otter. She says Casey Levy.
You mean Patty Murin?
Patty Murin, yeah. There was a video of her talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, but yes, Casey Levi.
I know you're mad.
I asked her that, and I was like, "Hang on, is it Levy or Levi?" She's like, "It's Levi." I was like, "Okay, Levi." Just like I say, wait for it. Just like I say, Kara and not Kara. Oh, that's right. I got the name right this time. What?
No, or Mike with Idina. Sorry, I had to do it to you. Idina Menzel.
Adina, Kara. I was about to say Kara, but I said Kara. It's Kara Lindsay. Adina Menzel. What was the other one?
And a little closer to home, Michelle Saucier. You have to say Saucier.
Yeah, so we'll be covering Ghost next week. Maybe we'll get somebody from that show. If we can get anybody from Ghost, anyone at all, I would cry. I honestly would cry live on stream if we got anybody from Ghost.
Watch if we got Casey. That would be so.
She actually, anytime I tag her in anything on my Instagram, she sees it. She looks at it. So anytime I tag her, she looks at it. So hopefully I can get her to come on, or maybe answer a few questions. Mike's gonna help me. Mike will help me.
Probably fangirling over here.
I will cry. I will literally cry if she responds to one of us being like, sure.
If she is, you can't surprise us, because if you surprise me, I will probably break down.
I think when we do Frozen, I think you should be the one to reach out to Casey and Patty.
We already did Frozen.
I thought you were.
Yeah, we already did Frozen.
Oh yeah, we already did Frozen. Darn.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're talking about for Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If I were you, I would reach out to Casey because she's probably more familiar with you than me.
Yeah, but I'll reach out to Casey and and then if you want to try to find the others, we can both reach out to them.
I'll try to reach out to some of the ensemble and see if they're available.
Yeah, I'll focus on the main cast. You focus on the ensemble because we're more likely to get somebody from the ensemble. But whatever. So we'll see you guys here next Wednesday. Be sure to go check out my Theater 101 merch, Orlando Mike's merch, the Tyler's merch. I'll put all those links in the description below. Go ahead and support us, y'all.
And give love to Michelle.
And good luck to Michelle.
Thanks for watching.
Michelle's birthday is coming up on the 28th, guys. So
make sure to
hit the thumbs up button. And wish Michelle a
happy birthday.
And give love to Michelle because she's great. Saucier. Sorry.
Saucier.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Au revoir. How do you say goodbye in French? Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a great night.
Bye. Thank you.